Hello again. So this, I'm going to start, this is another grocery haul here. Oh, wildly organic. Um, Wildly organic. Uh, so this is a weird, it's not a weird company, but they're like supplement superfoods kind of company. And from them, I ordered, what did I order from them? I was mainly interested in their cocoa powder or cacao powder because I was interested in the ones that are non-fermented and lightly processed cacao powder. I don't know, I said this before, like a couple weeks ago, or actually a month ago, a few months ago. I read a study about people taking cocoa powder. Well, it's not cocoa powder. What they were taking was a high concentrated source of flavonols, cocoa flavonols, and they did it for 6 weeks, and they saw improvement in skin quality and various it's almost like their skin quality improved dramatically. So when I read that study, I wasn't very careful to like look at the power to make sure like if the results are that significant as they're saying. It's probably some study in which they're trying to in which they're trying to promote their own cocoa flavanol supplements. That's what it is. But because of that, I was like, I have cocoa powder at home that has been sitting in my counter for years. I might as well start taking cocoa powder every day as a supplement. But the thing about cocoa powder is that cocoa and chocolate is that, yeah, you can have a lot of chocolate, but depending on how processed it is, there's varying amounts of flavonols. So the rule is the more processed it is, the less flavonols it is. Darker chocolate is better, and milk chocolate is worse. But to compound the issue, cocoa, they are known for like concentrated heavy metals, like cadmium and lead. It's pretty bad. It's part of the soil, and whatever is in the soil the plant absorbs it and it gets concentrated in the seeds. So you can't take too much of it, and also it's very variable depending on the source and where it's grown. And a lot of these companies are not very forthcoming about how much of the heavy metals are in their cocoa. So that's why I'm kind of like, even though I was for a while I was like, yeah, cocoa everything because I love chocolate, I had to like dial it down. I had to dial it back a bit because it's like, now if you can't drink, you can't, yeah, you shouldn't eat that much cocoa. I think there is a guideline. It's like, maybe 10-15 grams of cocoa powder per day. Well, it depends. It's still not, pretty much take cocoa powder and cocoa at your own risk. And if you're taking it from a source that claims to be a health supplement, claims to give you this raw processed cocoa, is actually worse. It's actually worse the more health conscious they claim to be, because one, they are not very forthcoming about the issues of heavy metals. And two, the more concentrated the cocoa is, the more you're just taking, the more the heavy metals you're taking. So in a way, a chocolate bar is better for that sort of thing, if you're concerned about that sort of thing. But me, I don't know, I'm like, yeah, more heavy metals, that we are not already ingesting from other sources. So, but I chose this company because they actually had a statement of how much heavy metals they have that they've measured. A statement as of like last year. The other cocoa powder that I had, the other companies I was looking at Terrasol, and I was looking at Navitas, and they were shady about it. They were being like, there's cocoa, there's heavy metals everywhere. So why are we suddenly concerned about like heavy metals in cocoa powder? And that I didn't find that stance turned me off from buying stuff from them directly. I was like, you know what? Yeah, sure, whatever. There's heavy metals everywhere, but you should be forthcoming. So I let people know what they're ingesting. So I chose Wildly Organic because they actually put the numbers there. So you know how much you're ingesting. Choose your poison. But I would like to be very cognizant as I choose my poison. So one is a non-fermented powder. So there's a claim that the non-fermented powder has more flavonols than the fermented one. So um, so this is non-fermented cocoa powder. I'm going to have to see what it tastes like. Probably tastes like ass. Oh, and then this is the fermented cocoa powder. Wow, and then there's a statement. Oh, there's a statement about like the ORAC value. So yeah, so like the fermented one has about 1,000 micromole. I don't know what the units are. It's TE per gram. I don't know what TE is. But the non-fermented one has 1,500 micromole TE per gram, and this is an ORAC score, which I believe pertains to the antioxidants, which is sort of measures the flavonols. Measures the cocoa flavonols. So we'll see. Maybe when I take this enough cocoa powder, I'll look like I'm 20 again. We'll see. But I like chocolate, so you don't need to convince me to eat more chocolate. But it's all melted. So another issue though with eating chocolate is it has a lot of oxalates. So if you have kidney problems, if you have kidney stone issues, especially calcium oxalate kidney stone issues, then you might want to limit your chocolate intake. And since I have issues with anxiety, I also have to be careful with chocolate because it has caffeine and that can exacerbate anxiety. So, but I still love chocolate. So then I got cocoa butter. I like cocoa butter. I use it just for my smoothies. Some people don't like. It's interesting how people don't really cook with them, but they use it for either for chocolate or they use it for cosmetics. But eat cocoa butter. Another reason I'm excited about cocoa butter is that it has a very high concentration of stearic acid. I think it's the highest compared to like butter oil, compared to like ghee, which is fried butter. And there's this theory going on like stearic acid has a way of like blunting appetite, which I can attest to because I make smoothies now. I used to make smoothies, not lately since I started fasting because there's no need for me to do it. But I used to make like protein smoothies with like whey protein and like blueberries. I call it my superfood smoothie. So it would have whey protein, cocoa powder, blueberries, and some greens powder. And there was a if I added the cocoa and I'll add some cocoa butter because I wanted you want some sort of fat there so that you can absorb the fat soluble vitamins better. Yeah, don't be afraid of fat. You need fat so that you can absorb vitamins better. So I'll add the cocoa butter as my fat. And there's a difference. If I did the smoothie without the fat, I'll be hungry like an hour later. You know how smoothies are. I've never found smoothies to be filling, even when it has like lots of like fruits and vegetables and fibers like grounded up in it. What would happen is that it makes you feel bloated and full like for 30 minutes, but then it all passes through you and then you want to go to the bathroom and then void everything out and then you're like ravenously hungry again. So I've never really understood this whole smoothie as a replacement for meals idea or conception because that's just a way for me to be hungry all the time. But adding cocoa butter though, and it makes it taste good, it makes me feel full for a lot longer, so I can attest to that. The only problem is that it doesn't quite mix very well, so you can actually, it's a saturated fat, so you can actually taste the grains of fat, but I don't care. But it's kind of all solid. It's a solid block, which I can understand because it was in the heat. So now I have to figure out. It's kind of solid. I have to figure out how I'm gonna get this out. Oh, and there's more cocoa butter coming later from Terrasoul, which I did other stuff from. Not just the cocoa butter, but not the chocolate part. Ooh. careful. Oh, and then I bought some marjoram because I need more herbs, I guess. As if I don't already have an overflowing herb closet from Egypt. Egypt. Okay. Interesting. Egypt. So that's the haul from Wildly Organic. I recommend them. You know, maybe I'll put a referral link. At least my one because I bought from them, but well, I haven't tested any of this for a bit, but I'm excited to taste this, to have this. So let's see.